And Mrs. Reagan said finding a cure for AIDS is one of the president's biggest public health priorities. The panel, which Mr. Reagan appointed to study last week's shuttle disaster, is a long way from issuing its report. In fact, members of the commission say they aren't even sure what direction the inquiry will take. It is unquestionably a monumental task. But bits of evidence are being found, and a new photograph taken right after the explosion could provide important clues. Here's ABC's Lynn Scher.
Today, the first man on the moon showed up for the first meeting of the Presidential Commission on the Challenger accident. But so far, neither Neil Armstrong, the vice chairman, nor astronaut Sally Ride, nor any of their colleagues on the Blue Ribbon panel is entirely sure how they'll proceed.
I'm about to find out.
Undoubtedly, this photograph is one of the first bits of evidence they'll examine. Taken by an amateur immediately after the explosion, it clearly shows the suspect right-hand solid rocket booster after it's been blown away from the shuttle, trailing a plume of white smoke from the apparent rupture of its metal casing. The flame from that rupture is suspected of causing the accident. The photograph also gives a better look at Challenger itself after the explosion. We saw it briefly in slowed-down videotape last week. Here is how the still camera caught it. A ghostly image of the front end of the shuttle, apparently with its forward control jets on fire, before its deadly plunge to the ocean. Some rocket experts continue to question whether the frigid weather at the launch pad last week was one of the factors contributing to the accident, particularly since the manufacturer said the solid rocket fuel should not be used if its temperature was below 40 degrees. And late today, NASA provided this first peek at some of the debris they've been collecting in a building designed to store spare parts, a graphic reminder of the enormity of the loss. Ironically, NASA held its 1987 budget briefing for reporters here in Washington today. And although there is no request for funding for a shuttle to replace Challenger, officials said an account has been set up to handle contributions that are unsolicited but well-meaning.
But it's measured in the thousands, whereas the cost of a new shuttle is measured in the billions.
But a new shuttle won't be considered, and none of the remaining 3 will be flown until NASA knows why Challenger was destroyed. We can expect some of those answers tomorrow when the investigators from Florida make their report to the Presidential Commission. Lynn Scher, ABC News, Washington.